State versus Osiris Hinton. Mr. Brown, I believe this is your motion.
That's correct. Please, court. Your Honor, this is a motion for bond. Obviously, this is a matter of first review before this court. I'm standing with young Osiris Hinton, who unfortunately is before this court facing charges involving the loss of his father. Your Honor, I know Miss Phoebe Hinton, the wife of Mr. Osiris Hinton, seated, and the mother of Osiris Hinton would like also to address the court at the appropriate time. But this simply is a bond request, Your Honor, that would give him the opportunity at some point to come back out to be able to help me to address his charges. But more importantly, Your Honor, because the underlying issues involved in this case simply is not a matter, again, what we've heard from time to time, and unfortunately throughout this country, a young black man having a gun and unfortunately taking the life of another person. That's simply not the case here, Your Honor. This is fundamentally an issue of an ongoing and serious situation involving mental illness. Your Honor, we've been in contact with Dr. Stanton Smith of the Charlotte Family Psychiatry and Counseling Services. Share some information with Mr. Morning. I'm going to hand this up to the court for its consideration. In regards to just within the last month alone, some information that Dr. Smith was sharing with Osiris' father in regards to his treatment, his withdrawal from a university system here in South Carolina, and ultimately an application to continue benefits. Now, the benefits will be fundamental to the care and treatment long-term of Mr. Osiris Hinton. And as the court is well aware, once a person has found themselves in our county detention facilities, wherever they may be, here in Spartanburg in particular, at some point he's going to lose those benefits. This has been an ongoing situation in which Ms. Phoebe and Osiris Hinton have tried to provide care for their son. And throughout this process, Osiris has found himself hospitalized. Has found the need to have his medication adjusted, and what we believe, without casting aspersions at this time, was simply a matter of long medication being prescribed by a doctor within this state and not from Dr. Stanton. Because of the conflicting nature of two medications, Your Honor, and what that doctor has shared with me was shared directly with Ms. Smith, Ms. Phoebe Hinton, that she could relate to you, Your Honor, simply misdiagnosis and the wrong medication that caused what we feel to be a psychotic episode. Understanding that now Mr. Osiris is not receiving the type of care and medication that he would need, it would be our request that this court would be able to fashion a bond in such a way that would allow him to have some form of inpatient treatment as we work with Dr. Smith to assure that to occur. And at some later point, the court would take up the issue to be reconsidered, to have a bond set so he can come out at some point based upon home detention. Your Honor, I know Ms. Phoebe Hinton will also make the request based upon the underlying nature of this case and the mere fact that at the time, what we believe to be a psychotic episode, that he would have the ability to have the chance to view his father for one last chance. I've spoken with members members here of the home detention facility do have the ability to have him restrained, to have him working with the funeral home where the body is located, except reviewing and immediately have him brought back to our county detention facility. Will be our request also, Madam, that we could expedite by presenting an order to you today to have him evaluated for our system here in terms of mental evaluation. And at that point, Your Honor, we would request to this court also that we could have the ability to have him see Dr. Smith and indeed what we know to be a forensic evaluation that would be needed based upon the recommendation of Dr. Stanton Smith. Dr. Smith wants me to relate to the court that he also made himself available to you by way of phone call. If the board had any direct questions in regards to his own point here.
Thank you.
And please, Your Honor, just briefly going through the facts of the case, Your Honor. This occurred on April 12, 2015, Your Honor, approximately 7 p.m. A 911 call was made by Mr. Hinton. Mr. Hinton identified that he had killed his father at that time. Officers arrived, Deputy Cash was the first one on the scene. He came out and met Mr. Hinton in the driveway. He said, I killed my father. He asked me where the gun was. He said, the kitchen, Your Honor. Basically, he turned him over to another officer. They went in and did a sweep inside the house, Your Honor. They found Mr. Cyrus Hinton on the floor between the kitchen and the living room. He was face down. He actually been shot in the front, face, and was actually out on the back, Your Honor. He died instantly at the scene there, Your Honor. The weapon was a 9mm. Was found on the kitchen counter there, Your Honor. Later on, he did want to come back to his father. The officers had restrained him outside in the driveway, Your Honor. They made notes about him maybe having some mental illness problems at that time, Your Honor, in the report. Your Honor, the biggest concern we have is obviously we would like to have a state mental health evaluation on him before any bond is given. The thing I'm worried about is just not danger to the community, but danger to himself. And obviously we need to make sure there's steps to make sure that affects himself as well as the community in this case. So I ask for not bond at this time, Your Honor, pending the results of the mental health evaluation and take it up at that time.
What's your position regarding their request to allow him to attend the wake?
Your Honor, I don't have a position on that from there. Obviously, I know the sheriff's department take every step they can. I just hope he's on the right medication from that standpoint to be aware of the requests I make from that standpoint. And I do have Ted Clement. If you have any other questions, Your Honor, he actually worked the case.
Any prior record?
No, sir.
All right. Mr. Brown, I'm going to deny your motion for bond at this point. I will grant you an expedited, if you'll prepare me an order, an expedited mental evaluation for your client. We can also put in that order that you may revisit the issue of a bond upon the completion of the mental evaluation. And I'm going to deny the request for release at this point.
Your Honor, just so I can be clear, in terms of him maintaining his presence in our county facility, if there were to be an opportunity for him to be transported and still remain in care and custody of the county, it's the court's position that he will not be able to have a separate unit and again find himself coming back to our county facility if they are willing to assist us in that.
I don't know if the county personnel, Mr. Solicitor, you may be able to help us on this, but I don't know any policy or procedure that allow detention personnel to transport a person for a wake. I'm not aware of that.
It's happened before, Your Honor. I would tell the court that it's happened before that they've transported folks to see somebody.
If detention personnel are willing, if their policy allows that, I'm not going to allow you to be released from custody.
Oh, we understand that.
For the wake. So if their policies and procedures allow them to do that, that's fine. That can be part of the order. But that's got to be in accordance with it. Allowing him to be released from custody to attend the wake.
No, sir, we understand that. We definitely want him to be evaluated in the type of care.
The major urgent people will make that decision.
Yes, sir. if the detention center personnel can do so in accordance with their policy, then that's up to them.
Yes, sir. Okay?
Thank you.
Oh, excuse me, I didn't neglect to ask you, did anyone in the victim's family wish to speak?
I think, the wife would like to speak to Mr. Sawyer.
I apologize, we got into it, I didn't know how to do it. Yes, ma'am.
I'm here to comment and to ask support to be relieved on this situation considering the circumstances. I just wanted you to know that my son is not a violent person. He's never been violent, as you guys stated. He has never been in the system. His dad and I, who I know him affectionately as Sean, have worked diligently since Osiris was in college. Osiris, you can look at his school records. He's always been an honor roll student. You have heard the statistics and the information regarding young individuals with mental health issues and how everyone just neglects it. They want to push it under the rug. We have been diligent and adamant in giving Osiris all the help that he needed. And received a phone call a couple of days after this incident happened to state that what Mr. Brown presented to the court, that his situation was not Osiris's fault. So, in knowing that it would be detrimental if he could not see his dad, and not to mention what he would have to live through because of what we felt that the professionals of the psychiatric industry is able to give us the type of recommendation that will benefit our son. And unfortunately, it has not done that. So I just ask that you all take that information into consideration and be most generous in providing the adequate care that my son needs to go forward, because it doesn't stop here. Because of someone else, he has to deal with the loss of his dad. I have to deal with the loss of my husband. His parents have to deal with the loss of their second child. So I just want the court to know that we love Osiris. We have never stopped loving Osiris, and his family is behind him 100%. We do not blame him for this incident because we know he idolized his father, he loved his father. And I know everyone who knows Osiris Hinton, everyone who knows Cyrus Hinton, knows that he loved Osiris to the utmost. And he would give his life to make sure that Osiris overcame mental health. And unfortunately, this is what happened. That's all I have to say.
Sorry to be lost.
Thank you.
And, ma'am, I will say this, what I'm hearing both from the solicitor and Mr. Brown is that it's pretty clear this is a mental health issue.
Yes.
And also what I'm hearing from the two attorneys is that they're going to get him evaluated and see what can be done in this future.
And I would like for us to have input on where he gets that help. We want the best help for Osiris because, again, he doesn't deserve to be in this jail. He doesn't deserve it. He doesn't.
Mr. Brown, you and solicitor, you certainly will expedite that evaluation so that you can get him seen as quickly as possible.
Or we'll need it with the state, obviously we'll need your help in there quicker.
Yeah, just prepare him in order and I'll sign that so that we can get him evaluated as quickly as possible. The situation needs attention.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you, ma'am. Thank you for being here today.
Also, Your Honor, the number of members from the community that know Mr. Osiris asked for his father personally, a number of educators. I see Dr. Chad Starks, Dr. Lynn Starks, I see Dr. Woody Ross, and members of the fraternity are also here, Senator Rochelle King and others are here in support of family members as well, so I want to make sure the court is well aware.
I think that's